Hello, my name is Gemma and I am a teenager. To some of you, this may be blatantly obvious, but to others, for example those who read and write articles such as The Times Weekend, How to Have a Happy Teenager, have evidently never been or met or seen a teenager before. Just in case there was any confusion, there's a handy identification on the front. Look, he's got a backpack on, a funky, slightly smug expression, and two handily, without branding, mobile phones. So, if we just, do you see the resemblance now? Yeah? Cool? Great. Awesome. Glad that we've got that identification sorted. So to Rachel Carlisle, who wrote the article, and Ian Williamson, who wrote the book the article is promoting, let me just tell you, as a teenager, I'd rather stick this article so far up my own arsehole that it hurts than give this article to any adult as any piece of advice whatsoever. You do occasionally have articles like this which are, you know, promoting family life and health and sort of advice, and occasionally when one about teenagers does come up, I do enjoy reading it because I can't help but feel that it's spurned on by a bunch of middle-class parents just going, someone help me, Timothy, my son, he started having intercourse and smoking marijuana. He started smoking the Macarena. So I started to give this article a little read because why not? What else am I going to do on a Saturday morning apart from procrastinate against revision? It starts out very promising. So this article advises that you need to be up to speed on what your teenager is doing, which means a more intensive engagement with their world. Fair enough. Quote, we need to think less about the provision of perpetual happiness and more about preparing them, as in teenagers, for being adults. They need to be resilient, have work ethic and a moral compass. That's great, that's a good start. So then we proceed on to the actual advice in the article, which is basically a point-by-point plan for parents on the worst ways to handle a teenager. Let's just go on to point one. Williamson is, quote, not big on the negotiated settlements, beloved of liberal parents. Oh yeah, those liberal parents with their negotiations, and their good communication skills, which we feel are terribly civilized and democratic. They are, in fact, says Williamson, just a way to avoid conflict and fudge the boundaries that teenagers need. Teenagers, in fact, have their own internal logic, which is not logical at all. It's apparently driven by, quote, impulse, not reason, and they are very articulate about arguing for what they want. This lures us into thinking we've got a thoughtful and mature person, but 9 times out of 10 they've decided what they want and how to get it. They've been listening to us for 15 years, so they know how to play us. Damn you, Williamson, you've seen right through my plan. In fact, every single time when I tried to negotiate with my parents, I was in fact luring them into thinking that I was acting as a thoughtful and mature person. Of course, this isn't true. Thank God I have this article, eh? It gets worse. Williamson advises how phones, quote, distract them from the psychological work of being an adolescent, he believes, because they fill in the boredom that would have otherwise been filled with thinking, mooching, processing, and working things out in their heads. Phones distract young people from the alarming business of facing the world and themselves. Let me just inform you, I'm not just sexting and watching porn. Social media links young people to more of the world than Williamson and all the other adults, all of our parents as a generation, ever had the opportunity to in their entire lives. Parents see all these news articles where kids are finding, beheadings on the internet and news of war and strife and struggles and different people's stories. So now you've gone from saying that kids are seeing too much on the internet to kids are seeing too little on the internet and aren't being introduced to the real world. I don't think I can win. What can we do with these teenagers who are spending too much time on their mobile phones? Okay, no teenagers under 16 should be allowed a password on their phone. And parents should check incoming messages and social media feeds occasionally, although they should not stalk them. I'm sorry, but you're saying don't stalk them, but that literally is the definition of stalking. If an adult did that to another adult, you can sue for that. You can't read other people's personal messages. It doesn't matter if they're your kid or not. You shouldn't do it. How is you then going through their social media and their personal messages gonna make them any more want to come and be open with you. Let's just continue. Quote, teenagers love a drama. Those exhausting Groundhog Day encounters that are such a feature of adolescence. The goading, the undermining, the belligerence and rants. Oh, I just love massive fights and arguments. You know what? It just makes me feel alive. That's just what breathe on. The next section. This is my favourite section so far. Use consequences that hurt. Oh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. Williamson's go-to consequences are what he calls the 2 M's, money and mobile. Quote, not having the 2 M's hurt them, and badly. Even if they say they don't care, he points out. Their world of friends, parties and adventures is moving on apace, and they are missing out. A situation that for them is untenable. There are so many problems with this one sentence here. Number one, money and your mobile phone are literally the 2 things that as a human being, and especially as a young person, those are the 2 things that give us freedom, okay? I'm just imagining now what would happen if someone took away all my money and my mobile phone. I would feel so stressed out, so trapped. As an adult, what would you do if I took away your mobile phone and your money? Oh, I guess it means you're missing out on a party. No, it means you literally, if you're in, for example, a damaging environment, it means you can't escape from this environment. Oh my god, this is such bad advice. And yes, I'm reacting in the exact way that Williamson thinks I'm going to react, which is, quote, explosive and unpleasant. But if you can weather the storm without too much compromising, then you are more than halfway there. Do not do deals or back down. You not even making a deal or compromising or listening to your child's point of view is literally the worst thing you could possibly do. I'm sorry, but it really is. To summarise, teenagers are all manipulative, moody liars. So stalk them, stop letting them have any control over their lives whatsoever, take away their money, take away their mobile phone, and treat them like a child. So that they become young, trustful, happy adults. Yay! God, this is so bad. I'm really, really sorry to break it to you, readers of the Time magazines who are reading articles like this. These problems that they talk about in this article affect everyone. No matter what age they are just as likely to affect people who are 10, who are 15, who are 25, who are 35, who are 45, all the way up. That's just being a human. Sometimes people need space. Sometimes people lie. Sometimes people aren't going to tell you, other human being, every single facet of what they do in their lives. It doesn't mean they're sexting, taking drugs, and, I don't know, running a secret evil corporation. The stereotype that teenagers are these moody, manipulative liars is brought about by you thinking that your teenager is a moody, manipulative liar, and then them reacting in a way which can distance themselves from that negative perception of themselves so that they don't have to deal with you anymore. It is literally creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. If anything, being a teenager isn't defined by these things. Being a teenager is defined, for me, by the period of your life where you make mistakes and you grow from them in order to become resilient, hardworking, and with an ethic. The only way your child is going to learn to be those things is, I'm sorry, letting them make mistakes. And I know that's hard. I know it's hard, and you think your child is going to go off and take a load of drugs, and they will probably smoke marijuana at some point. This isn't me condoning marijuana, by the way. This is me taking the piss out of people who call weed marijuana because I just think that's funny. You can't dictate whether they make those mistakes or not, when they're going to happen or what's going to happen. You need to let them figure out the world for themselves. That's all the teenager wants. The world is so new and so exciting and so just big for people our age, okay? We just want to go out and experience it. Teenagers, we love you parents, we really do, and we are just excited and happy, and please let us make mistakes, because everyone's going to make mistakes, and if we don't make them now, we're going to make them later. If you want to talk about this, please talk about it in the comments below, because I love to hear what you have to say. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!